the history of Kentucky from 10,000 years ago to modern times in 10 minutes. Hi, it's me, number 10. 10,000 years ago, people began living in what is now Kentucky. These were the Paleo-Indians, specifically the Clovis culture, who hunted mastodons and other megafauna during the last Ice Age. They are known for their distinctive spear points, which have been found in several states and are dated between 13,000 and 11,000 years ago. They may have been the first inhabitants of the Americas. Number 9. Archaic period. After the last Ice Age ended around 10,000 BC, the Paleo-Indians were gone and a new culture emerged that would become known as the Archaic period. They lasted until 1000 BC, so we're talking about a big chunk of time. This period was characterized by small bands of nomadic hunters and gatherers who lived off the land and used stone tools. The Hopewell culture emerged during the latter part of the Archaic period, and they were known for their large earthen mounds, which can still be seen in parts of Ohio and Illinois, but also near Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. No. 8. Woodland period. The Woodland period lasted from 1000 BC to 1000 AD and saw the introduction of pottery to the region by the Adena culture. This culture is also responsible for building the largest earthen mound in the eastern United States, the Great Serpent Mound, which is located just outside of Peebles, Ohio, not too far from the Kentucky border. The mound is 134 acres in size, and archaeologists believe it was used for ceremonial purposes. It is one of the most mysterious and impressive Native American sites in the country. Further into the Woodland period, we see the emergence of the Mississippian culture, who built large towns and more earthen mounds. One of the most well-known sites is Cahokia, located near present-day St. Louis, which at its peak had a population of around 40,000 people. While not technically in Kentucky, the Mississippian culture had a significant impact on the Woodland period in the state. Number 7. Early European contact. While the exact date of the first European contact with Kentucky is not known, we do know that French explorers were the first to venture into the area. In 1540, Hernando de Soto, Spanish explorer, led an expedition that passed through what is now western Kentucky. However, he did not claim the land for Spain, nor did he establish any settlements. The first French explorers to enter Kentucky were a part of Jacques Marquette and Louis Jacques' expedition in 1673. They traveled down the Mississippi River as far as the mouth of the Ohio River, which forms the border between Kentucky and Ohio today. They did not go into Kentucky itself, but they did explore the Ohio River in the western part of the state. Further exploration and trading missions followed over the next few decades, with the French establishing several forts and trading posts throughout the region. No. 6. Colonial era. During the colonial era, the area that is now Kentucky was a part of the French colony of Louisiana and was claimed by the British after the French and Indian War in 1763. The Treaty of Paris officially ceded the Ohio Valley, which included Kentucky, to the British. However, the British did not have a large presence in Kentucky during this time, and the vast majority of the land was still owned and inhabited by Native Americans. This led to conflicts between the settlers and the indigenous peoples of the region, such as the Shawnee and the Cherokee. Despite these conflicts, more and more settlers moved to Kentucky, and by the end of the colonial era, it had become one of the most populated areas in the southern colonies. Number 5. Statehood. Kentucky's path to statehood was a bit of a complicated one, mainly because it broke away from the state of Virginia. See, the western counties of Virginia petitioned to break away and form their own separate state due to dissatisfaction with Virginia's policies, and also because they felt that they were being neglected by the eastern counties. There were multiple attempts to pass laws for statehood, but they were all vetoed by Virginia's governor. Finally, in 1792, the western counties broke away from Virginia, and the state of Kentucky was admitted to the Union on June 1st, becoming the 10th state. Number 4. Civil War. Kentucky was a border state during the Civil War, meaning it was a slave state that bordered the northern free states. As a result, it was not expected to secede from the Union. However, when the war began, many Kentuckians did join the Confederacy, and the state became a battleground for both the Union and the Confederacy. The first major engagement of the war was the Battle of Corinth in western Kentucky, which resulted in a Confederate victory. However, this early win for the South did not set the tone for the rest of the war. As the Union ultimately won several major battles in Kentucky, including the Battle of Middle Creek and the Battle of Cynthiana, overall, the war had a devastating impact on Kentucky, with thousands of men from both sides losing their lives in the state. Number 3. Bourbon and the Mammoth. During the 18th century, Kentucky began to gain a reputation for its bourbon. The first documented distillery in the state was established in 1789 by Elisha Craig, a Baptist minister and farmer who experimented with distilling corn whiskey. Soon after, others started producing bourbon in the area, and it quickly became one of the most famous products of Kentucky. At the same time, Kentucky was also gaining a reputation for its mammoth. The first documented discovery of mammoth bones was in 1801. When a group of boys were hunting near Louisville and came across a buried tusk. Since then, many other discoveries have been made throughout the state, with the most famous being the discovery of the world's largest collection of mammoth bones in 1832. The discovery led to the establishment of the Mammoth Cave National Park, which is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 2. Industrialization. During the 19th century, Kentucky experienced a period of industrialization that transformed its economy and society. The discovery of iron ore in the western part of the state led to the establishment of several iron, which produced the metal for use in bridges, buildings, and railroads. Additionally, coal mining also became an important industry in Kentucky during this time. The first commercial coal mine was opened in 1816, and by the end of the century, Kentucky was one of the leading producers of coal in the United States. This growth continued into the 20th century with the development of the Tennessee Valley Authority, which brought electricity to rural areas of the state and spurred economic development. Number 1. Modern times. In modern times, Kentucky has become known for several things, including its horse racing, basketball, and of course, its bourbon. Churchill Downs in Louisville is home to the Kentucky Derby, which is one of the most famous horse races in the world. And the University of Kentucky Wildcats basketball team is a perennial powerhouse, having won 8 NCAA championships. Bourbon is still another major part of Kentucky's identity, with many distilleries offering tours and tastings to visitors. Unfortunately, Kentucky has also been affected by the opioid epidemic in recent years, and the state is working hard to address this issue through prevention, treatment, and law enforcement. Hopefully, Kentucky will continue to be a great place to live and visit for generations to come. So there you have it, the history of Kentucky in 10 minutes. Did you learn anything new? Let me know in the comments below. Also, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this. Thanks for watching. See you next time.